Hey everybody, it's Linda with the big bright light behind me. Jesus is in the room right behind me.
That's your angelic vision, exactly.
Right. And hi Sterling, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Good morning to you and everybody, and your two dogs. I don't see your dogs this morning, but
They're in
I'm
my
sure they're
room
around.
today.
Okay,
They
they're hiding
sometimes
out.
they get like that. They get like, well, we're just gonna lay in your room and boycott you.
Yeah, because they're not camera shy. That's for sure. They're always
No,
around. So
they like to show their rear end. So hey,
exactly.
you had some housekeeping. We're going to talk about the free reads.
Yeah, just real quick. We're just a quick housekeeping here. As you know, that every time we were going up another 1,000 subscribers on your channel, I was giving away a half-hour session with myself. And so we just want to make the announcement to make it clear that this will be the last giveaway that I do on your channel. That is, I think you're at 44,100 or 200. When we get to 45,000, we'll give away the next session with myself, but then that'll be the last one that I give away on this channel. So just want to, lay that out there so it's fair for everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for doing that. But you got your own channel and you got your own issues.
And I am giving away free half-hour sessions on my channel.
Yeah.
So I've kind of shifted
over. Go to
his
channel. I'll have it in the box below if you haven't already visited.
Exactly.
And it's very interesting, you guys. It's kind of more in depth, if you ask me. Okay, so we got our list.
Okay, great.
And then on top of everything else that's been going on, I'm not going to get into the small stuff, but my printer broke.
Oh.
My son was here last night. He's such a genius. I swear to God, that kid figures out everything. And so he fixed it. So I was going to have to read from my phone to read your question.
Great.
And a thank you to Dan for typing this up for me. And a thank you to Linda, Sterling's wife, because she also goes through it for him.
Yeah, she does. They make a good team.
They make a good team. Okay. The first question from the other side, Leonardo da Vinci. Does he have a message for us?
He does. And so this request came through this week. So I spent some time yesterday talking with him. First time I talked to Leonardo da Vinci. Didn't really know a great deal about him other than there's historical documents. But one of the things he made really clear, he was drawing a parallel between the work that, let's say, you and I do and a lot of other psychic mediums out there, is that a lot of the work he did when he was here, he actually tuned into the other side. So he had clairvoyant psychic ability. And he was telling me that, he said, one of the most important things to tell everybody is that creativity and using your imagination is the gateway to the mother of invention. That was his quote. So a lot of the things he developed here, he actually, not only was a fantastic artist, right? But he actually did a lot of scientific breakthroughs in solar energy and even flying machines. So the other thing he was telling me was that a lot of the things that he created, I think it was around 1400s, 1500s, but a lot of the things he created that mankind has only just started to yield the results from. So many people feel like the things he developed have already been said and done, but a number of the breakthroughs that he had that came from spirit are now going to start yielding results. So a fascinating guy, but making the connection with creativity, imagination, connecting with, the universe, and that being the mother of invention for everybody. So,
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
What was he like energetically? A pleasant man or?
A very calm guy. He almost reminded me of like Merlin the Wizard. If you look at some of the old, a very calm guy, almost a shaman of some kind, but very knowledgeable, and also had a bit of a humorous side to him. So a little bit of a tongue in cheek.
He got hit energetically from a power way bigger. You know what I'm saying? His creations were way ahead of time.
By the way, the other thing he was telling me, it's worth mentioning, is that it was a very difficult time when he was on the planet here. So a lot of the things he did, it was almost like we see a lot of the problems with persecution of different types of people, right now in our current lives. And he had a very rough time. So he actually almost endured a little bit of violence and, hatred for some of the things he was doing. So it was rough.
Yeah.
People didn't understand him. Yeah.
Was Leonardo da Vinci psychic?
He was. I think we just covered that. So that question dovetail what we just talked about. Yeah, absolutely.
They asked it of the second question.
And I think that might be why he had some of the the difficulty in life, and individuals didn't understand that or respect it. And, he was like the oddball. So,
Right. Will gun control ever be passed and or assault rifles banned under the Biden administration?
yes, interestingly enough, this is going to come in phases, but I do see significant progress in the registration and I won't call it full out banning, but assault weapons, AR-15s. So there's going to be a much more scrutiny about who buys them, where they are, how they're registered. So during the first 4 years, a lot more scrutiny. I do see, interesting enough, they're going to start to try to operate kind of the whole gun control issue like the DMV, which is interesting. So like you have to have a license, you have to take a test.
Right.
It's an annual or every 2-year test, but almost like treating it like the way we treat vehicles, treating guns.
Wow.
So that's,
okay.
yeah.
Well, they got to be able to link that gun. If you lose it, you report a stolen car, you should report it so they can link it.
Exactly. And that brings me actually to another point, and thank you for bringing that up, because this came up in prior sessions you and I have done. I do see biometrics, biometric technology coming into the whole gun administration area. So biometrics are like using your thumbprint to enable the gun's activation. So like if you're not the owner, you're not going to be able to activate it. And I see those coming more in terms of, the assault weapons initially, and then the technology making its way down more to smaller handguns, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. How do people on the other side feel about us visiting their grave sites?
In some respects, they find it a little amusing, and this may take some people, off guard, but our loved ones are with us nearly all the time. So they're with you at home, in the car, where you're walking down the street. So the very fact that you think you have to go to the graveyard to visit them, some of them find it a little humorous. But at the same time, they're also they're always concerned for us, because sometimes people exhibit a lot more grief when they go to a graveside. So they try to do energetically everything they can to kind of raise our vibration. We're at the graveside. But long story short, I think they find it a little humorous sometimes because they're not there. They don't stay there.
Totally makes sense. Totally. Because I've had people be upset that they haven't gone to the grave, and their loved ones saying, what are they talking? I'm with you. I'm here. And I'm not there.
Exactly.
But people will feel they're energetically, it's almost like a tradition, like some sort of way of observing, or, the deceased one. But they do come around you when you're there. So maybe people pick that up even more so. But it's like, don't bother. Even people who die, when I left and she died, I feel horrible. And they're like, I'm fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And by the way, they get as much joy, if you will, out of even memorials that people put up in their house. Might put up a picture and something. They're just as fine with that as you going to the gravesite. So,
if you have the urn in your house and pictures and stuff, they're fine with that too.
Right. Many times I do sessions with people, and they say, we love the memorial you put up for us in the house, and they acknowledge that. So,
that's great. Will this current administration be able to fix the crises at the border?
So multiple factors regarding the border crisis. One of the things that will go well for the Biden administration is a much better way of documenting and processing, immigration. So that's the first part of the problem, is making sure you can track everybody and you document what's going on and process them quickly. The reasons, I'm being told, the reasons that all this immigration is happening from various places around the world, that's going to take a decade to fix. So the reasons, the danger and the fear and the murders and things going on in these other countries, that's going to take a decade to fix.
Okay.
But we'll be on the right road. Yeah.
Okay, good. What happens energetically within us or to our food when we bless it before eating?
And this has to do with an alignment of kind of all energy. So as you align kind of your body's energy and your spiritual energy with that of the food, what it really means is your body handles the food that much better. It's more harmony, if you will.
Right.
So I guess it's not so much that the hamburger is being blessed, but you're getting
Yeah.
into a space, that now your body is in its best state and ready to accept the food energetically. So yeah, it combines many elements there for me.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with giving thanks for anything, with the food, with a roof over your house.
Well,
That
absolutely.
energy
Yeah.
is pretty powerful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If we are energy and not physical matter, how can we hug and physically interact with our loved ones on the other side? But we are physical matter.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure I completely understand that question. Whoever asked that, if they're asking how we on Earth relate to those that have crossed over, if that's the inference on that question, it is all energy, and you actually feel the cold chills and the warmth from people.
Right.
So it's not necessarily a physical hug. Sometimes it's better. There are times that, like, my wife's angels come around, or some of her sister that passed away, and my wife's being chilled to death. I mean, it's crazy. So that's a bit of a physical interaction. So hopefully we answer that person's question correctly. It's
Okay.
it's different than a physical hug, but
Right. Because we are in the physical. That's our challenge on Earth.
right,
But you can connect with them, not necessarily physical though.
exactly.
Okay. I moved to the Bible Belt years ago. Oh, God bless you. I've been told that the Bible says there is no water in heaven. Is that true? Very interesting question.
No, I'm not sure where that information came from, but everything that's here on Earth is actually in heaven. So a lot of the things we experience here, including water, are also in heaven. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
question.
fishing over there with different deceased people.
Yeah, interesting connection though with moving to the Bible Belt and being told there's no water in heaven. I'm not sure how that question came together, but there you go. We answer
There
everything.
you go, poor guy. We send our best wishes.
We answer everything.
Okay, Michael Sherwin, 60-minute interview. What was this motivation behind giving this illegal interview?
Yeah, that was a real debacle in that 60 minutes interview. So what I'm being told first off is that obviously it's under investigation, not that it's immediately illegal. He did say a lot of things regarding what the 400 there's 400 people under arrest. But for me, they're telling me had a lot more to do with a combination of ego and him getting out in front of any harm that he thought might come to him.
That's what I was feeling. He was trying to save himself.
He's trying to get out in front of the train. But I also heard ego. You understand? So
Interesting.
it felt like this is like an ego play on 60 Minutes, and I'm going to show that I'm above it all or something. So yeah.
Right. Is the anti-Asian racism in the US going to get worse or better?
Well, for the better part of this year, it's going to go in some cycles. So it's going to get a little worse, but then the good news is in a short period of time, it's going to get much better. And there's a couple of reasons for that. What I see is that almost the AAPI movement, right, Asian American Pacific Islanders movement, is actually going to join forces in some respect with the Black Lives Matter, the BLM movement. So there's going to be some like joining of forces there. The other thing is that all the hatred that was put out by 45, which tend to stem a lot of this, right? It exacerbated with the things 45 to his office. Because he's out of office, that's going to start to decline. So good news is throughout this year, it's going to be much less, it'll start to get much less. And then the combining with almost like Black Lives Matter, it's kind of a unified rights movement. So I think that's good news there. Yeah.
That's good. Oh, this is a good one. Will Sidney Powell have consequences for all the lies she told? And now she's saying, well, if you think about it, nobody would actually believe what I said.
Yeah. And you know what I get on that is that not only will she face consequences, but there was all that defamatory information against Dominion, the voting machine company.
Yeah, they're suing her big time.
Yeah. And what I get is that case is going to be like a landmark benchmark So the success of that defamation case against Dominion will end up being a benchmark that, like other defamation cases against these voting machine manufacturers, they'll be able to cite that as, yeah, you know how it goes when a
Giving
case
fake
is then
information.
it
Yeah.
becomes part of the legal record for everybody, and they say, now quoting from this case. So
Right.
being a benchmark case, yeah.
They're even suing Fox News. Is that going to be a good one too?
It will, because all these are going to dovetail together, and the same judicial logic I feel that's going to be used for all these Dominion cases is going to go across all the different the cases themselves. Yeah,
Because they might even push it to the Supreme Court. But I see the courts going in favor of those who were damaged, the Dominion people.
no, they will.
You can't blatantly say something when you have no proof.
Right, and I think the CEOs have been out in the news saying that they really harm the companies, right?
Yeah.
Stock value and everything, and they're all lies, right? So all those, all the defamation was based on lies.
Right. It might slow down all this lie stuff where they got to be careful what they say.
Right.
Okay. Do ETs have prejudice against other ETs like we have against other races and countries here on Earth?
What I get on that is it has a lot more to do with territory. So it's a little different. So where they might be, I think the question was, are they prejudiced against other alien species? It has more to do with competition for territory or galaxy. So it's territorial more than it is you're a gray, you're Pleiades.
Right.
It has less to do with that and more towards district and control over certain environments. So I guess it's not prejudice as we know it. No.
Right. I'm going to tell you, do you watch that show, Resident Alien, on the Sci-Fi Channel?
No, I know of it, but I don't watch it. No.
Oh my God. It looks corny and I didn't think I'd be interested in it whatsoever. Every time I auto record, every time it comes on, I watch it. You will die laughing. Oh my God, Sterling, it's hysterical.
I'll have to take a look at it.
Please, you and Linda, even watch the first one. It is hysterical.
I will. We'll watch it today.
Okay, great. Resident Alien. Okay. Are family farms in America going to make a comeback? Is organic co-op organizing the key to their prosperity?
So this is going to take a little different shape than it has in the past. Like a lot of businesses, they're going to morph a bit. I do see family farms coming back, but it's different in that I see more of a collaboration between multiple family farms and almost a bit of a segregation on how they focus their efforts. So there's going to be more high-tech farming coming into the picture and a collaboration among family farms. So it's going to change the landscape a little bit,
right?
But it's going to be for the betterment of not only the food supply, but also the family farm. So yeah.
When you said that, it made me think maybe even by counties in different places, they have the farms that directly go to them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And it's just going to be I see much more of a collaboration among multiple family farms in different segments with the use of new, high-tech farming technology that's going to make it better, yield better food production, lower cost. So it's going to change the environment a little bit. Yeah, but they'll be saved.
Do you see an accident coming out of North Korea?
It still highly concerns me. I still do. And I know that I was talking about this, and my guys were talking about the tail end of last year. And I still see a lot of saber rattling and some accidental nuclear things going on with North Korea. Now, I saw in the news this week that I think it's a sister right now is making some sort of threats against the U.S. And so there's something going on there that's highly unstable. And I do feel like the accident will be contained in North Korea. So they're not really going to get it.
That's what I was feeling too.
It's almost
and you
like,
notice how the sister's talking, because I'm telling you, Kim Jong-un isn't around. I'm telling you right now.
I know, I agree. And last year I felt he was out. That was, he was gone,
Right. But they have a body double that they're using.
Yeah.
But she's the one calling the shots. And I heard she's just as bad, if not worse than he was.
it feels like whatever they're doing like blows up on the launch pad or something.
That's what
So
I was feeling too. That's so funny. Okay. Who is abducting Native girls in South Dakota?
yeah, and this is where I guess the way the person asked the question, like a lot of indigenous girls that are being abducted. It looks to me like it's because of a big insurgence of people that don't belong to that area, that territory. Big insurgents, and also, it looks like there's one or two even serial killers that are running around that area. So it's not a good situation. The good news is, though, is actually I see a lot of financial resources being put into like tracking systems and figure out what's going on. Where did
Right.
all these people get abducted? What time? What was the relationship? And it's these better tracking systems, even using some artificial intelligence they'll be able to create a dragnet, so to speak, and hone down on these individuals that are
Oh,
doing,
good. Good. The Voynich manuscript has not been decoded by anyone. What is the Voynich manuscript? Who wrote it and what language is it in? I have no idea what this is. Is it some guy named Voy and his partner named Nitch?
I know, and it's been passed, around quite a bit from hands to hands, whether it's government to government or investor to investor. But what I do get is a very distinct alien connection. So whoever transcribed this information, received this information from aliens, and it had a lot to do with better life, helping mankind, and I think there's a lot of pictures involved in this too. So not just hieroglyphics, but it's also pictures and things. So yeah, hasn't been decoded, but it will within a few short years.
Okay. Is that the one that has like pictures of plants on it and stuff?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. How will the crises in the Suez Canal be resolved?
They're telling me it'll be resolved very matter-of-factly. So this means like good engineering, good science within about a 2-week period here. So they're going to do a number of things like offloading fuel and containers and dig outs, but they're saying very methodically within about 2 weeks here. The good news is, though, I do see them now changing things in the Suez Canal to prevent this kind of thing happening.
Right.
So there's better safeguards. I feel there's going to be some windbreaks. They were blaming the ship getting caught because of high wind gusts. So I feel like it's a good thing that this happened, in that they'll get the ship out, but then they're going to bolster and reinforce that area so these kinds of things won't happen in the future. So
okay. So they're saying prices of things will go up. Is that true?
Yeah, there's going to be a short-term effect for about 2 months, something. There's going to be a bit of it's hundreds of ships that haven't been able to get through.
Right.
So it's almost like gas prices, right? As it's going to see some fluctuation for a couple of months for everything, food and appliances, and yeah.
How will the crisis? Okay, you just said that. Do you see anything coming up next week?
I do. For me, 3 prominent areas. I do see Kamala Harris getting, much more actively involved in what's going on the border and trying to get the word out as to, programs are going to try to put in at the border to help with processing. I do see Biden very gradually building up to the bar, so to speak, on this $3 trillion infrastructure plan, this Green Deal plan. But I feel I'm inching more towards, trying to, if Republicans won't help, they'll kind of muscle our way through, so to speak.
Okay,
so
thank you. We need that.
Green Deal program. Yeah, what else I was thinking about? Oh, and I think we're still going to see a lot of debate over gun control. So moving towards assault style weapon. I wish I could say it's a ban, but it's going to be much heavier scrutiny on how they get licensed and tracked and tested, especially all the new ones, and closing up those loopholes at gun shows. So I see more of that happening this week. A lot of assault weapon discussions. Yeah.
So the voting situation, which is very important.
Yeah.
Will that shift in our favor?
It will, and I think this came up on a couple of shows back. But what I saw was that a lot of these bills are going to get passed. So they are going to get passed. So a bit of a pendulum swinging back and forth. And within this first 4-year Biden term, we'll see more executive orders and Supreme Court interaction than working to overturn them.
Okay.
So yeah, I did see the number of them we're going to kind of get rushed through. And then we're going to see the pendulum swing back this direction with Biden's efforts, executive orders, and Supreme Court. Yeah.
They can't lose. They have to cheat to win. They just can't take it.
Right. And, a lot of these are based on still the lie, right? These laws
Right.
went through based on the fact that it was a fraudulent election. Well, it wasn't. We all know that. Even the Supreme Court ruled on that. So, yeah, it's terrible.
So do you guys have anything else they want to say?
They do. Again, simply put, this week they were just saying for everybody to kind of relax and know that they are in control and that, like the one force, God is in control. So relax and know that things are under control. Now, that's hard sometimes. You look at a lot of the chaos around us, but that has to do with understanding there's a deeper meaning to everything and there's a deeper flow to the universe and it's all moving the right direction. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, my friend. It was a delight. I'll see you next Sunday.
Always good getting together every Sunday. Yeah.
Every Sunday. Sunday's our day.
There you go. All righty.
Okay.
All the best.
Bye.